Welcome to our global audience, on this Saturday morning. And we've got a very interesting guest, very inspiring guest, I would say, who has risen from literally nowhere to being at a leadership position, has kind of faced a lot of turmoils in his life, both personal as well as professional, but has never given up and have again and again shown to all people around, especially the young professionals, mid, and even the senior ones, that if you stick to the fight, even when you're hardest hit, it's very difficult to defeat you. So stick to the fight even when you're hardest hit. Rest if you must, but don't quit. I have got today Dr. Ritesh, who is joining us on this podcast and will be taking up, a few questions around his personal and professional life. And we truly look forward to making this session as inspirational as possible for everybody who is watching it. Thank you so much, Dr. Ritesh, for joining us. Before we go to the topics that we have for today, where we would like to, take the viewpoints of Dr. Ritesh, we'll give a brief introduction about him. He's a seasoned IT governance and cloud operations leader with service management, compliance, and enterprise IT transformation. He is currently Director of Compliance at Gurucul, where he leads information security compliance initiatives, building robust governance frameworks aligned with global standards. Extensive experience across TCS, UPL, Qualys, and Capgemini. He has led large-scale cloud operations, ITIL process transformations, and service delivery excellence programs, which has kind of driven efficiency, standardization, and continuous improvement across complex enterprise environment. Thank you so much, Dr. Ritesh, for joining us. Thank you for taking out time.
Thanks, Rishi, for taking time and giving this opportunity.
Sir, first thing first is that you kind of started your journey from a non-electrical, non-IT background, and then you ended up building a career in enterprise IT. What motivated that transition and what were the toughest challenges in establishing that?
It's a good question. So, being graduate in electrical engineering, I started my career as a project engineer electrical. So, I never thought to be in IT, never dreamed to be in IT. So, when I started my career in 2002, so around 2 years, I worked as a project engineer. But I started my career from Mumbai. And my major client for electrical projects was the IT companies, multinational IT companies. So during that my project delivery, one of the senior guy from IT, he observed potential in me and he told me, you are very good. Why you are not trying your career in IT? There is a good opportunity. IT is booming in India. So that was the point where first time it struck me that I should learn something. And in management, there is a concept, fail early to recover fast. So I am connecting my previous story also. So during engineering, my M3 was backlog, engineering mathematics 3, and later I faced accident. So everybody was thinking that I am finished. And when you are failed by way of accident or any reason, people looks towards you as a failure guy. So somewhere it was ditching me inside. And you can even you can say it's a ditching. It was ditching me. So it's a revenge story also. So I decided I have to prove myself, my backlog, everything. I need to prove myself. Then I said, yes, I'm going to do this. So then my mind was prepared that I need to enter in IT. And here was my journey started as a IBM hardware support engineer. So in typical Mumbai, when you are doing job, so spending most of the times in commutation. So you are doing your own job,
Yeah.
you are spending time in commutation, and learning is one of the important factor. So you have to take time. So I think the best part of my career, I can see I'm enough lucky that I started my career from Mumbai. Because Mumbai is known for it never sleeps. It's a dream city. Then you know the value of the time. Time management is one of the crucial and important factor in Mumbai. So that gave me it teach me a lot of things in my career. So how to utilize your 24 hours. So I think here was the point, the starting point of my IT career.
Yes. And why did you want to go into only IT? What was in your mind? Was it like people around you telling that IT is booming, you should go there?
Yeah,
Why IT?
yeah. So
Was
that
it influenced by people or was it your own
Yeah,
decision?
yeah. So as I said, my client was the IT company. It was one of the multinational IT companies. So I was looking for them project electrification of data centers, rack mountings. So already being electrical engineer, I was pushed into some knowledge of the what is data center, what is a rack mounting, generally how it works, and I got interest in that area as well. And why IT? So as I mentioned, a revenge story of my academic.
Mm,
That is one of the factor. And
mm,
second is that time just IT was booming. Outsourcing was
mm,
happening to India. So there was a
mm,
large pool of resources requirement was there in all area like hardware, networking. And in that in that time also, if I remember, if you want to push yourself on the growth part, IT was the sector where you can fill the gaps where you lost in your previous years. So it was in fast moving growth. IT was the career and it challenged me. I mean, it gave a lot of interest to learn a lot of things. Looking actually some parts you look in theoretical, but when it's happening in front of you, you are quite aware how it is happening. Then later I read the theory part. I learned first most of the times I saw it practical part. Then I read what generally happens in theory part. So it was the thing and growth was the crucial factor. So
mm.
I need to fill my all failure, fill up the all backlog. So that was the reason I selected to be in IT.
But sir, you could have done very well in non-IT as well, because there are a lot of opportunities in non-IT. Say you were an electrical engineer, you could have started your own, say, electrical consulting. A lot of constructions happen. A lot of substations are looking for engineers like you, who have done
Yeah.
electrical engineering. Why not non-IT, sir? Matlab,
Yeah. So
means I'm just trying to understand.
it was the time demand. So it happens on that
Yeah.
time. So someone identified my potential. I realized that I have that potential. I took that opportunity. Yes, hurdles were there. Because what happens generally,
Yes, sir.
believe me, I completed my diploma in electrical engineering, degree in electrical engineering,
Ah,
spent 2 years. So almost
ah,
3, 3, 6 plus to
yes.
8 years in electrical engineering. So moving from core to IT is not easy, but I believe one thing,
Mm,
there is a one management concept shift. There is a word shift, SHIFT
mm,
shift. So there are two types of shift.
mm,
One is a physical shift and another is a mental shift. So in physical shift, generally you shift
yes.
some object from one place to another place. But when it comes to
Mm,
mental shift, your brain is a very
mm,
powerful. Okay. So when your mental shift happens, then you are
mm,
already ready. You already enter in that area to do anything, any kind of obstacles coming in your way. So you have to overcome that once your mental shift happens. So any kind of career transformation, I believe mental shift is very important.
yes. I got it, sir. And now, early in your career, you have worked deeply in data center operations and as a messaging subject matter expert.
Yes.
Looking back, how did that hands on experience shape your understanding of reliability and system design?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, there is a theory and there is a practical. So generally, when I entered in IT, so it takes some 10 to 12 years to become data center owner. But due to my learning
Yes.
mindset, I got opportunity within 13 months. I started as a career hardware engineer and some seniors
Mm,
identified potential in me and they directly entered me in the data center operation. So it was a challenging. But just imagine in
yes.
theory part, you are looking what is the storage, what is the network, what is the security, all kind of things. And I am looking in front of me practically. So it's
Yes.
created lot of uh, uh, doubts in my mind, even curiosity, how it happens. So it helped me directly to understand how practical this kind of things data flow is happening, how you are storing data in IT. So all kind of like data center operations carried out.
Yes.
This kind of exposure really helped me, and then later coming to the messaging solution. So that time, IBM Lotus Notes Domino server, I took as a specialization. I became the subject matter expert, and I was mentor for that. So in Mumbai, I groomed around 200 plus engineers for the IBM Lotus Domino administration. So right from
Mm,
electrical engineering, then digital electronics, hardware, networking, messaging. So most of the points, my all dots got connected, and it helped me to clear my concepts. Basically, clearing your basics are very important. So back to basics is very important. So that cleared me, and I was very confident that whatever come in front of me, I will able to work in that. And always in career, there is a safe zone and encounter zone. So when you enter to your encounter zones, initially first 2 months or 3 months or max 6 months, it is an encounter zone for you. But once you decided to enter in encounter zone, it's just BAU, as business as usual for you.
And you then kind of moved into IT service management and ITIL led environments. So what was the biggest mindset shift, sir? Like, moving from managing systems to managing processes and service quality.
Yeah, here's some turning point in my life. So, I mean, it will come later also. So there are some challenges at family level, so due to health issue. So as I was in technical operations, so technical operations, you are getting call at night also 2 o'clock, and you get into locked into your laptop and you need to resolve your issue. So it was going very difficult. So then I decided that I need to do something different now that will help me to balance my career or long term career as well as my family also. So that was the time after 10 years almost in technical operations, I decided to move out from the technical operations to ITL processes. So that's I started my career as a process consultant ITIL. So not having single certification in ITIL. So within 1 year, I started my journey as a ITIL consultant with ITL foundation certification. In next 11 months, I was certified ITIL expert. So that was my learning part. Dedicatedly, I put lot of efforts and I work in all processes, practices. So designing process from scratch. So the advantage of this is that I work initially in operations. Then I entered into processes. So see, if you are directly process consultant, you can't define the process from scratch, understanding the pain points of the operation. So now how it's
Right.
connected the dots, I know what happens at ground level. What are the pain points at operations? What operation people thinks, operation team thinks, what is the identical way of designing process. So that really helped me
Yes.
clearing my understanding, clearing their pain points for the smooth IT operations.
And as you transitioned into cloud service management and cross functional roles, you also began operating at a much larger scale. So, what are the biggest challenges, Dr. Ritesh, in managing cloud environments where multiple teams, tools, and dependencies interact?
Yeah. So as I said, my journey happens from technical operations. Then I enter to data center operations. Then in process designing, implementation. Then it's a measuring of the process effectiveness, risk governance, compliance. Now coming to the cloud operations.
Yes.
So the base of
Yeah.
the cloud operations is the IT service management. So if your processes are well defined from ground level, then you will effectively able to run your cloud operations. So in cloud operations, I played roles, multiple mixed roles. Like one of the role was lead for the cloud service management operations, and another role was like a cross function services. So the typical challenges in handling multiple teams is like generally what happens in terms of the cross functional. The challenges what happens most of just for the sake of the name, organization forms the cross-functional teams. But the core
Yes.
concept of forming cross-functional team is they need to understand what every team performs, what kind of activities every team perform. So in this case, the clearly defines role and responsibility, ownership, accountability, all kind of activities they are carrying out, policy procedures, SOP should be in place, and all kind of templates should be in place. And in multiple team handling in cloud operations, there is a collaboration with multiple teams. So bringing them on single page or bridging them together are the most of the challenges. So that's you need to work out. Then you can effectively run your cloud operations with efficient solutions, scalability, availability, and you can improve your efficiency in cloud operations.
Yes.
So summarizing, so there are multiple
Yeah.
teams, but clear ownership, roles and responsibility, then strengthening your team with effective tools,
Yes.
then utilization of tools effectively. That is important. Just by bringing tool, you can't be successful in operations, right?
Got it. And now, as director of compliance, your role has evolved significantly. Like, how does your deep background in operations and cloud help you approach compliance, risk, and governance differently today?
Yeah. So see, before reaching going to compliance, I will say there is a process, then there is a governance, and after that governance, compliance comes. So if your process is in place, how you need to do the activity. That is a process. Then governance,
Yes.
whether your process are effective and organization is following that processes. So that is a governing part. And after that governing part, compliance. So whether organization at larger scale level, they are following processes, they are following all procedures. So that is a compliance part. So you are measuring that compliance. So in simple language, I will give you an example, funny example. Like you watch Munna Bhai MBBS movie, right? First Munna Bhai MBBS. So in that movie, Munna Bhai asked to Professor, Professor, there is a one question. Professor say, yes, ask me. Whether it's necessary to fill the form before death. So Professor answer, yes, it's necessary to fill the form. So this is about process and compliance. So whatever activities you are carrying out in your operations, it should be recorded well. So that is a compliance with following policy and procedures, not breaching the policy and procedures. So this is about compliance. So overall, my all journey, right from electrical engineer, RIAS, then hardware, networking, data center operations, process in ITL process, I work in all areas, then cross function lead, then risk and governance part, internal auditor. So these all dots connected to my careers, and that is really helping me in compliance role. So what the multiple teams or cross functional teams should do and what they should not do, and how they should record all activities for the compliance part. So that's really helping me to managing the compliance.
Yes. And now we will kind of, we also know that, along with your professional journey, you have been navigating personal responsibilities as well, including raising a child on the autism spectrum. And without going into anything that you are not comfortable sharing, how has this experience, Dr. Ritesh, shaped your perspective on leadership, patience, and resilience?
Yeah. So I will share, no problem. So because that struggle built me very strongly. So my elder son, who is fighting with autism, he's 19 years old now. He can't speak. So when first time we realized my son is autistic, so doctor also told me your life is like hell. But there were only two options for me. Either I should give up or I should fight. So I decided to fight. Whatever doctors say, I will fight more for my son. So just imagine my family struggle, whole family, we struggle like last 14 years. Every month, 20 to 22 nights, sleepless nights. That happened with us. And in parallel, you have to play your roles in corporate. You have to earn money for treatment. So it gave me a lot of strength. So every time I ask myself, I have to fight whatever comes in front of me. And many times what happened
Yes.
every day evening, 7 p.m., I was preparing myself that I'm not going to sleep today because I'm not getting a chance to sleep today till 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So just by opening my book or opening my laptop, I started learning. My learning part started. And believe me, it's led me to some 35 plus big certifications in IT. I'm saying bigger certifications, not smaller. Smaller, I don't have count, lot of islands. So, and that led to me the mentorship. So I became career mentor also as I am contributor to education sector. I'm board of study member of few universities. So I'm helping them to syllabus design from first year engineering to MTech level. So this all strain came from the obstacles I got in my life. So I use my obstacles as a opportunity and I build my career around them. And when I am looking to the leadership perspective, what I learned through my personal struggle when I'm connecting to the leadership. So I learned one thing. I got a chance to work with CXO people right from when I was fresher when I started my career in Mumbai as a IT guy. And throughout my personal journey, I can say one of the learning is a be humble, whatever the role you are playing or what title you are carrying. And second thing, you don't know what kind of personal fights people around you are coming through. They are bringing in office. They are fighting a lot of odds. So you should be enough humble with people. You should have always learning mindset and you should be student. I can say whole life you should be like a student because life never stop to teach you. So you should be student. And my slogan of life is a be a better version of yourself. So every day you have a chance to be a better version of yourself. When you count yourself throughout the year, just imagine 365 days. So even 1% you are improving yourself. So just imagine the count of your be a better version of yourself for every year. So this is the my slogan: be a better version of yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hitesh, and very inspiring. I have no words to explain because we all kind of go through a lot of problems in our life, and interviewing Dr. Hitesh should also inspire other leaders and other people. You may be at any juncture of your life, but if you stand strong, if you think of everything as a as a a stepping stone. Likewise, if you see Dr. Hitesh, he kind of utilized those sleepless nights to kind of do a lot of certifications, do a lot of learnings, and you kind of start seeing every problem as an opportunity, and that is a very important mindset to have. Everybody is not born with a silver spoon or a gold spoon, but everybody has a chance to become big. And especially when we live in a country like India, where meritocracy is there, people who are working hard, even if they are in the villages of Maharashtra, UP, anywhere, if they are working hard, they can also become IS officers, they can become big corporate employees. That is something that we have in India, where which is not there in a lot of other countries. We also have to improve upon it, maybe in terms of meritocracy and the accessibility part. But one thing is for sure from this podcast is that if you have a strong desire, a strong learning appetite, and you take everything as a positive, thing in your life, you will always grow forward in your life. And Dr. Ritesh is an example for that. And I have tried my level best. I have convinced him to come on the podcast and share his story with us. I hope this story is going to be helpful for a lot of people who will be watching this show. And thank you so much, Ritesh, for sharing, these experiences loud and upfront and, you know, coming on the show, taking out time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Rishikesh. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.